Hi, yeah, it's Jackie here with the LGFA, and we're on a call today, a very special call looking at referees and the life they lead. And as we have commenced the season 2023, it's an opportune time to welcome along to three very special guests. Lizzie Flynn is the National Development Officer with the LGFA. Lizzie, how are you?
I'm great, Jackie. Thanks a million.
Top left hand side of my screen as I look, and bottom of my screen is Kevin Phelan, well known inter-county referee, and his wife Martina, former Laois player, official, and now female liaison officer with Donny Brennan's Laois senior team. And that is a nice ring to it. Martina, obviously All Ireland Intermediate champions last year, and got off to a good start. I'll start with you, Martina. It's a nice way to start. A good start for Laois last Sunday in
Yeah,
Division Two of the
absolutely.
National League. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it was a great start. Like to have Monaghan at home in the Moore Park was a good win for us. Like it's nice to get a win in the first round of the league, especially in Division Two. And that's where like Donny has set his precedence. He wants to stay in Division Two and he wants to do well and stay up in the senior ranks and maybe follow the likes of the Mead team going forward, hopefully. But the girls are working really hard. They're training. A lot of gym work has been done since November and December, and as I said, not much pitch work so far, but that'll all come in time.
Absolutely, and we wish Laois well, and we'll keep a close eye on them throughout the season. Kevin and Martina, there mustn't be much other chat in the house at times other than football. Would I be right in saying that, Kevin?
Well, it's all football. It's all football. Yeah, if it's not if it's not a club football, it's county football,
Yeah.
and it's the refereeing as well. As she'll be keeping a close eye on me, and how I'm doing at club matches, and she'll be following me the whole time. I'm like
So
very.
there'd be a mixture of praise and constructive criticism, I'd
Yeah.
imagine, Kevin.
Not too much praise.
She's my biggest critic.
You can take that one offline later on, lads.
That's
So,
Yeah.
Kevin, look, it's great to have you on because look,
No
it's a
problem.
really good time of the season, and particularly
Mhm.
when we're getting into the full swing of intercounty matches to chat about referees and the environment. And look, Martina spoke about the work that's gone in with the players and strength and condition in the gym and in preparation for a new season. I spoke to Declan Carolyn recently for a piece in Pell magazine, and his wife was chatting about, he might run 6 or 7 miles some days,
Mm.
and lots of other various work. What kind of preparation goes in, Kevin, in pre-season for a referee?
So again, as like Declan, you're doing a lot of running. You have to get a lot of miles into the clock. So we've been doing a lot. I've been doing a lot of 5Ks, maybe 3-4 times a week, and then doing the sort of the speed work, in order to get the between the 40s or the 20s. So you're trying to keep up to the pace. So it's all about having that burst of pace, and then being able to maintain it with stamina. So you're doing your long distance running versus then the shorter runs, which you need then for the burst of speed to keep up with play. So it's and you're constantly going. Then of course you're watching your diet. So they had the fitness test this year. I think we were very cruel there, Lizzie. There was this back in the early January, so we had the no Christmas pudding for me, like, or Christmas cake. So look, it's constant. You have to stay doing it. You have to stay at it, like, I mean, the whole time, to be fit, and it's important that we are fit. That we are able to keep, because the effort that all the players put in and the coaches put in, we have to be able to match that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Kevin makes a great point there, Lizzie. That that it's the players deserve, good referees, good fitness levels. So, what do you demand of the referees, or what are the main criteria that you expect them to meet on a yearly basis?
Well, look, I mean, there's obviously from our own point of view, Jackie, there's standards that they are expected to meet. If they don't meet those standards, they're not on our panel. That's the way it is. So, like they have a rules test. So obviously they need to have a very, very good knowledge of the rules. So there's a very high percentage rate that the referees have got to pass. And then, as Kevin mentioned there, they have a fitness test. So look, the referees were all out on I think the 7th of January. So, there was really very little break, Kevin, I'd say, even, for referees this year's season. It was right around, a lot of people were only finishing up in late November, December. So there was really no room to slack off. There was no pudding, as Kevin said. So, like, they had a training program there over the winter, but you know, there's a fair bit of going to get to that pass level, Kevin, I think in January, you know, and it's
Yeah.
very unforgiving, you know, so there's a very high standard there, and that's where they're expected to get. I suppose with a few other things that we're trying to do to support the referees as well, Jackie. So, you know, at the moment we do video analysis with the referees, and that we're in the third year of that, which is just brilliant, you know. And Kevin might have his own views on it. And just this weekend gone, we're working with Stat Sports now, so all the referees that were out this weekend had their GPSs on. So we're just having the data and analysing that data at the minute, and it's absolutely brilliant. You're looking at, you know, on a very basic level, you're looking at how much running does happen in a game. You're looking at the speed, the acceleration, deceleration. You're looking at heat maps on the pitch. So, you know, we're really, really trying to invest in our national referees. So we have a brilliant core group who are really committed. And you said it, Jackie, like, you know, players train at the highest levels, and the respect the referees show to the game by being that prepared is absolutely brilliant. So look, we're very lucky in the LGFA, you know, to have such a fantastic group of match officials, really.
Brilliant. And Kevin, Lizzie talks about standards and standards that you expect that you're expected to meet. But I presume, you know, as a high level intercounty referee and refereeing at that level, that those are standards you expect of yourself too.
Oh yes, yeah. Like I mean, you're trying to ref to the highest standard, and that's my goal, is to always ref to the highest standard that I can be at, and I have to be as fit, you know, and know the rules and try and apply them as best I can, you know. So that's what you're trying. Like, we do all make mistakes, but you're hoping that the mistakes you make are small mistakes that don't have an impact in the game. So you're constantly, you know, analysing your own game. What Crow Park are doing now, and Lizzie is coming in on it, is all this analysis, more and more analysis to see, you know, where we're running. The heat map, you know, I mean, just shows you your positioning on the field, you know, and the distance ran, you know. So it's all these things are a help to us, and we do, like, I mean, that the third sport there last year, like, I mean, was showing us, you know, even out down to our conversations. You know what I mean? How we are conversing with the players and the management, just to make sure that we are as professional as we can be. You know, so that's very important. That's what it's all about.
Kevin, have you ever refereed a match where Martina is on the sideline with an opposition team, or how has that gone?
Well, no, she's, yeah, I've done a few practice matches with her, and so yeah, she would be very critical, you know, on some of those, and she would watch PPF matches that I would have refereed, you know, and even trying to be neutral, she would be trying to pick up on things that I would have maybe missed or allowed, that maybe she thought was maybe a free, you know. So she would always challenge me, you know what I mean, and you know, she knows the rules as much as I do, because she's been playing them and she's been applying them with her coaching as well. So she would have been very strong on, you know, teaching the rules to the girls, you know, that as she's been all the teams that she's trained all through the years. So, but like, so no, she keeps it. She's a tough taskmaster.
And Kev, in terms of the respect piece for referees, where do you think we are with all of that at this point in time?
It is a bit difficult at times, and you know, it's probably in the last couple of years, it's probably been, with the level of professionalism that's come into the ladies' football, it's probably the criticisms have got a little bit sharper, you know, I mean, towards referees, you know, and you know, they have to understand we make mistakes, you know, that's have to be a given. Like, we're not, it depends on where you're standing on the pitch and what happens, and you know, the speed at which occurs, that, you know, you are likely to make a few mistakes during the match. So, but the tolerance levels, and Martina will have seen it as well, that have become less and less acceptable of the mistakes that referees are making, like, you know, that may make, or that they think they make, you know. So again, some of the managers are not up to speed on the rules.
Yeah, I think that's an important one, in that there's people out there that don't probably realize that there are different sets of rules for men's games and our ladies' game. That's important to get that point across as well.
Oh, it has, like, I mean, and like the one little rule there that was always causing a headache was the on the kick out, when it was before, when we had to travel the 20-meter line, and the men's didn't have to travel past the 20-meter line, and then all I could hear was Cluxton does it, you know. So
yeah,
you know, so that's the difference, slight differences, and that, but there is slight nuances, and people have to learn them, you know, in order to understand them.
And Kevin, how does criticism, how do you deal with criticism? Because I recall a couple of years ago you made a decision in a TV game, social media blew up, but as it transpired, it was the correct call.
Yeah, look, you don't like to be criticized. I don't like to be criticized, and you're making a decision on the day in the split second event. You're hoping that it's the right decision. You have a team around you of umpires and lines persons and fourth officials in some games, and you're hoping you're using them to help you as well. And look, it can go wrong. You know what I mean? That's and you have to be. Sometimes I'm more annoyed with myself at if I make a mistake. Do you know what I mean? It's not Martin not will get on to me, but I'd be annoyed with myself. Like I mean, in that particular game, I was happy with the decision I made. Like, do you know what I mean? And reflecting back on it, like I mean, it was just unfortunately the way the angle of the camera was at, it didn't pick up the push. But my umpires and my fourth official and my lines all commended me on the call because it was a tight call, last minute of the game, point down, and could within score and distance. So
that was Tipperary and Monaghan. It was a Parnell Park, I think it was. Aisling Maloney made a catch and you blew and.
But I've also made mistakes in other games, like I mean in and very tight calls and in a split second and may have been the wrong call. I mean, I don't know, but like and I'd be annoyed with myself and like the criticism gets there. I can get to you, like, do you know what I mean? But you have to try and block it out. You know what I mean? And move on. I have a very short memory. Martin gives up to me for not remembering anything. But I try to focus on the next game. You know what I mean? I forget what happened. Like I mean, and in fairness, Croke Park and Clare and we're all very supportive of me. And that was a great thing. Like I mean, and the other referees were all very supportive of me. Told me just to put and help me out. Like because it can like I mean I wouldn't be on social media or anything like that. Like but it can be tough like for any referee. And it's a very lonesome place if things go wrong, like that, so it's, we try and get on with it.
Martina, how do you feel then if Kevin's getting a bit of stick and do you let it roll off you, or do you does it affect you?
Yeah, like that decision was because I think we were playing Clare in the next day in the championship, and I remember I was talking to one of the Clare managers at the time. He said to me, "Oh, Kevin, what the mistake?" But in fairness to the Clare manager, he said, "Oh no, he was right." You'll get people saying, "Oh, he meant," like especially my brother-in-law would always say, "Oh, the Monaghan players or the Lightwich or don't go up to Tipperary." He'd be slagging you all the time, but like that, Kevin got a letter from somebody in Tipperary given like a letter addressed to referee Laois, and it wasn't really a nice letter, but you have to go by. But Kevin is very quiet. He doesn't let it get to him, so I probably let it get to me more than he would. He just rubs off him. I'd be more thicker or get frustrated with it, but Kevin is ideal for refereeing because he just lets it go over him, so he's good at the job because he doesn't take any criticism. If that was me and someone started giving out to me reffing, I'd probably react worse, but that's why Kevin is good at refereeing. I won't say very good, but good at refereeing.
He's one of the best in the business, Martin. One of the best in the business. Lizzie, how important is it then, and Kevin's touched on it, to have the support, that referees have the support of their peers when something like that happens, or maybe they feel that things aren't going well?
Yeah, look, it is really, really important. Like, Kevin mentioned, like we have a very good group of national referees yourselves. So whether, you're a national referee or you're refereeing at provincial level or you're a referee at club level, starting out, it's really important that you have maybe a buddy or you're picking up the whistle for the first time, that you have somebody who you can pick up the phone to. I always talk about self-reflection. People do it as coaches, but as referees, after a game, well, what went well today? Not looking at the negative straight away. Was there anything I could improve on? We want everything to be perfect, but the game's not perfect. It's played by people, it's played by humans, and players make mistakes, and we can be very, very forgiven for that, Jackie. But when a referee maybe makes a questionable call, it's, people sometimes don't depersonalize it, and that's kind of the challenge probably that's there in a lot of across games. But look, as Kevin said, like I always encourage people that they have someone to pick up the phone to. Look, if it's a national referee, they can pick up the phone to me. They'll pick up a phone to somebody else maybe, and to talk it out, actually, particularly if something was challenged, and kind of going, look, they've questioned themselves. They might have made a correct decision, but now because of maybe things they're hearing, they're now saying, was that the correct decision? So mentally kind of now questioning your own beliefs and your own capabilities. And a lot of the times the referees are actually correct that maybe the person on the sideline, the coach or the parent or the manager, maybe might not actually understand that rule, or maybe they understand it, but we see it with our eyes, and sometimes players and people, they see it with their hearts, they feel it with their hearts. So the referee's job is to implement the rules. That's their job. And if you went out any day and said that 99% of the time you got things right, that'd be a good day. But unfortunately there's still that 1% that'll, no matter what way you look at it, they won't see it the same way. But look, I think we have a good support network, Kevin, and look, that's all I'd ever encourage anyone starting out, is to find someone that can be a buddy on a panel at local level, at provincial level, at national level. It's vital. And again, look, Martina's obviously a great woman, but it's really important, whatever that dynamic unit is at home, like whether it's a wife or partner, that you have somebody there that can be supportive on the good days and the more challenging days. So just really important, that support network.
Yeah, absolutely. Kevin, just to finish off on the conversation, if you had a message to people, and respect is a two-way street. I mean, you have absolute respect for the players and the job they do, and it's nice to get that respect back as well. But I guess there's so many people at matches that I think stuff comes out of their mouth before they even know that they've said it. Is it maybe just to take a moment to take a step back and to maybe understand that referees are human, they'll make mistakes, players are human, they'll make mistakes, and just to maybe cool the jets for a second before letting loose,
Yeah, no, look, it is like GAA, like we're a very passionate, family in the GAA, like between at every level, from coaches to players to mentors to referees. We're all passionate about it, and that's what makes the GAA such a great organization. And you don't realize it until you go abroad, you see it being played abroad. But yeah, it is. People would just have to understand that, one, we're there to help. You know what I mean? We're there to try and officiate and make the match as enjoyable, as possible. We don't want to be the ones blowing whistles every day, every minute. But like, we have to blow it if it's a foul. We have to make our interpretation of it and call the foul, or if it is, or let it on if we deem it to be a play, but play on. And so we're all slightly different. So none of us are robots that we're all exactly the same. We all have little nuances that we do, like, and coaches, especially the coaches on the sideline, need to understand, that if they can control themselves, and they'll control the rest, the teammates, and they'll control, the supporters behind them. So they set the standard. They set the standard themselves. So if they're losing it on the sideline, everyone else then starts to lose it. Like, I've seen loads of examples where managers have been, very vocal on the sideline, and it's upset the players, and they haven't, they then get upset, and they then don't perform. I had an unfortunate one there this year. I sent a mentor off the line. Their team was down by 10 points, and they came back to within a point. Now, if he had to stay calm all during the game, would they have won? But he was upsetting the girls, that and was affecting them. Like, but until he was stopped, the girls then started to play football, and just came up slightly short. Like, so they have a very huge responsibility there. Like no more so than myself. Like, I have a responsibility to make sure I ref it as best I can. And that's why we have the fitness, and we have all the support there from Croke Park to make sure that we are at our best level. And I like it, if I'm not at a good level, an honest level, and I won't be refereeing. Like, it's not fair to the players. So, like, Croke Park set high standards for us. Like, and even at club level, if I'm not fit enough, that's the day I'll stop refereeing, because it's not fair to the players. Because even at club level, it's getting faster and faster and more technical, and players are improving over the years. The skill levels now that girls have is unbelievable, like, at younger age. And like, the under 14 blitz this year was brilliant to see the young players coming up, like, so the future is bright for a lot of counties.
Kevin, is it more of a challenge even at club level, at club matches, where maybe you can hear more devices, right? It might, and it might be a more tighter confine. Whereas, you've refereed All Ireland final at Croke Park. You did an All Ireland senior club final last year, Mourne Abbey, Kilkerran, Clonberne, big crowds. maybe that noise is more noise, whereas you might hear some more individual shouts where there's less people there? Or is it an experience thing, Kevin, that the more you go through these experiences, the better you are and the better you're able to react and handle those situations?
Experience is a lot for it, yes. And at club level, of course, like, I mean, the skill levels are not as good at club level as we know at county. So there tends to be a few more mistakes made, things like that. Tackles mightn't be as good. So you might be a little strict, you might be blown a bit more than you would maybe at inter-county level. So and that might be frustrating people, may frustrate people a bit more. Like, I mean, Croke Park has asked us, to referee in a certain way. Like, I mean, and we were going back to club level trying to referee in that way. So which might be slightly different than what other club referees are doing. So yeah. And especially club referees that are referee both codes, men and ladies. So I just referee ladies only. So I'd be slightly stricter than some of the other referees, and that might be a bit of a frustration then for clubs because we are slightly different, so and that you can hear that then as well from the sidelines, and the supporters as well, but eventually they get to learn what you're like, so they know that we don't change our mind, that's the thing that they understand, and they get something, but you will get the odd person that doesn't learn, but we try our best.
Absolutely. Final question, and for yourself and Martina, what are your hopes and aspirations for the year ahead?
So at least be in Croke Park and me also.
That's a good answer, Martina. Yeah. Because as I say, it's a good start to the league for Laois, and you're obviously going into a Leinster Championship with Meath and Dublin, and into the All-Ireland series after that, and whatever that may bring. Have there been goals and targets set out yet in terms of what you want to do in the league and championship?
Our goals is to stay in Division 2 and probably hopefully like good chance that if you get a few more good results, you're playing Westmeath on Sunday, so good result there would put you in a nice position going into a break to get you to a league final. I know this year it's just the top two teams are in the league finals, but that's what you'd be going to get to a league final and try to win that Division 2. And to Leinster is probably it's probably the toughest. That you have Meath and you have Dublin there. They're like Kevin was reffing that game. I was doing umpire that day, so like they're two tough challenges ahead of them. But they can be beaten. So I think going forward to stay senior would be a massive achievement for Laois. Yeah, it would be an extra bonus to get to an All-Ireland final, but to stay senior, because Laois is a very proud county, you need to be playing top grade. You need to be senior. I would have played, I always played senior football, so I think we need to be playing up there. And I think the girls want to stay up there, and I think they will. And for Kevin to get to an All-Ireland final and to referee, and maybe I could do umpire that day. So.
Yeah, do you do umpire much for Kevin, Martina?
I actually did it on Sunday for him, or Saturday up in UCD against Dublin and Meath, and it was quite, because we were all mic'd up to Tina G, and Karen Hawker was there as well, so it probably was a little bit nervous because she could hear us talking. But there was a point down the far side, and Kevin's umpire didn't wave wide, and I was straight in front, and the lines person sort of, I think it was Kira, said it was a point, and I could see clearly. I could really see clearly it was a point, so I just pressed as ever that was a point, Kevin. So I was very proud of that call. But yeah, I actually enjoy doing umpire. I suppose it's something that I wouldn't mind doing it, and we're going together. I suppose we all have the same interest, and my 3 kids play football. I have a daughter playing GAA and 2 lads playing, so we're very, I actually would enjoy it. It's too late for me to start doing refereeing, but the umpiring would be something to I do with him. But I know, so hopefully a good year, stay senior and enjoy it. That's the most important thing, and stay healthy. Yeah.
We wish you well. We wish you well.
Yeah.
Lizzie, we might have another inter-county referee there. We'll never say never with Martina. What you think?
I was going to say never say never.
I'd never pass that. Even Kevin was doing the fitness test. We have a good big garden. He had the 2 cones out, and he was running on. He was punting and panting, and I said, "Oh my God, he's never going to pass it." So the day he went up to do it, he got a phone call. He said, "I threw myself over the line." And like that, you'd be waiting for the call to see did he pass the test. you know, like, because it is nice to see them do well. I think everyone wants to do well, but I do think the ladies football have a very high standard. I think the ladies football are the referees that I see reffing in the high standard are actually very good. We had Declan ref in our match on Sunday, and he did an excellent job. So like Johnny Murphy is a top referee, like Brendan Rice, like all very good. Like, and even we had a do up in Croke Park there with the referees and with Croke Park, and it was a very enjoyable day. And you can see the way all the referees get on together, and there's a bit of banter, and it's a very good organisation, the LGFA, and I think we all should be very proud to be part of it.
Absolutely.
So thanks.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Lovely way to finish. Martina and Kevin, best wishes for the year ahead. And absolutely, you talk about teamwork, a superb team. The Perry, and best wishes, and hope everything goes well the year ahead. Most of the time, anyway, I'd say. Lizzie, thanks very much for your time as well today. And folks, we look forward to the next chat here with the LGFA. But for now, my very special guest today, Lizzie Flynn, National Development Officer with the LGFA, Kevin Phelan and Martina Phelan. Thanks very much, folks.
No problem at all. Jackie. We'll see you, Lizzie. Good